penalties have given up goals. So special teams, yet again, needs to be one of these areas that really needs to drastically improve. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not changing the message from the point of view that the season's only just started, but it's a little bit concerning that we seem to be talking about the same stuff from last year.
Yeah, I mean, it was getting to the stage last year that every time they scored a power play goal, we would pop the champagne because they were quite rare. We went through a really dry spell. But, it's still early days. I know you're saying 0 for 14. It's not good. But there was, but one particular power play against Nottingham on Saturday night I thought looked excellent, and it was really, really unlucky that they didn't get a goal. If they can show that again, the goal will come. But again, we talked to players last year, and they were saying, when it comes to that kind of stage, you're gripping the stick a wee bit harder. It just needs, the first one to go in, and everything could be just all right after that. But anyway, Jennifer, are you concerned, or are you just taking it as early season, still getting to know each other?
Well, I hope it's just early season and getting to know each other. We all can only hope.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating to watch, though.
It is frustrating. I found Saturday night very frustrating after such a good start. Kate, yourself?
I'm not worried. No,
not worried.
I think we'll be fine.
Cool.
Nah. Give it a month or so, and ask me again.
Okay, well that's what we'll do. We'll do that.
Jennifer and I are joined this evening by none other than the General Manager of the Manchester Storm, Neil Russell. Mr. Russell, how are you?
How are you doing, guys?
We're doing great, thanks very much. You're one game into your season. We're slightly further down the road at this moment in time, and obviously we're meeting on Saturday, so we'll have a bit of a chat about that. But in terms of your pre-season, Neil, how do you feel that that's gone so far?
Well, it's always good to do research, Graham. We're actually 2 games into our season, but I'll let you. It's all right. I'll not publicly shame you in any manner.
I'm new at this.
Listen, we're very happy. We're very happy with kind of how pre-season went. Obviously, had the Coventry Blaze in here on for one of our pre-season games and lost 7-6 in overtime. But that was the guys literally had only been on the ice 3 or 4 days at that stage. It was a good game that night. Then we had Sheffield roll into town on the Saturday evening. And that was, with good crowd in here. Atmosphere is always electric whenever Sheffield come in, the old rivalry, the War of the Roses and all that type of stuff. Picked up a victory there. Went in the following day into Sheffield, which kicked off the season. It was a Challenge Cup game, lost 6-4, but I think that game, I look back and think this time 12 months ago, after going 4-2 down, probably this time 12 months ago, we'd have gone on and lost that game maybe 8-2, 8-3, but the guys showed a lot of heart, a lot of passion, brought the game back to 4-4, and ended up losing the game 6-4 with an empty net goal in the final minute. And I took a lot of pride away in that performance. I know Pash was the same. The guys have shown a lot of heart so far. We're very happy with how things have gone. Obviously on Saturday evening, with the Cardiff Devils in here on Saturday for our home opener, as it were, in the Challenge Cup, and skated away with a victory there. And that was a huge performance from us, probably since the reincarnation, for want of a better term, of the Storm. It was probably the most complete performance that I've certainly seen. I'm sure Pash would probably agree as well. And good crowd inside the Storm shelter, and I think everybody has seen the improvement in this team compared to this time last year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the result with Cardiff certainly sent out an early message. And I think, from my point of view, I didn't see the game, obviously, but it came to my attention that Cardiff really came back to draw level twice. And for you still to get the winner close to the end, I mean, that's a character win, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. And I think the passion I discussed at length at the end of last season was what type of team do we really want to build here? And, certainly, and listen, you probably hear this out of every coach, but we certainly wanted a team that had that heart, desire, that hunger, and we're very, very happy with what we've recruited this off season. I mean, Pash has done a great job and spent a hell of a lot of time on each and every single player that we brought in this season. Did a lot of reference checks, and listen, as I say, most coaches or most good coaches will do that because it's massively important that you have a good locker room, and we're very content with that kind of leadership that we have in there, because we're intertwined, of course, with a few younger guys, the likes of Connor Varley, just straight out of Penn State University. Cody Cartier straight out of uni as well, and straight into professional hockey. So to have that kind of experience in there, along with those young guys, is massively important, and it was something that we just didn't have last year because, as everyone knows, we had to put the team together in 6 weeks, and Pash did a really good job with that time restriction. We had an exciting team last year, fast, but we're very small, and we just knew that here in the Storm Shelter, small ice pad, very similar obviously to the old BBT. We knew that we just wanted to get that bit bigger and a bit more physical. As I said, we're very happy with what we've recruited, and certainly as I've already touched on the heart, desire, the hunger is there in each and every one of these guys.
I'm going to refer back to the recent interview with Tony Smith because obviously that's created quite a bit of debate, and the trend within the league to go for bigger, tougher guys. Although obviously this isn't a league for toughness this season, according to Tony, and time will tell. But what's your thoughts on that? I mean, is a tougher guys approach, and you've got, as you said yourself, you've got some big guys in there who should be well suited to the small ice at Altrincham. But as far as the strategy of bringing in these tough guys, do you think, is it all on ice strategy, do you think, or is there an element of let's get some bums on seats and have a bit of entertainment in that respect?
Well, certainly from our side, I mean, I'll not hide behind the fence. I mean, certainly from our side with bringing the likes of Eric in, Eric's a huge personality. I mean, again, you talk about reference checks. I mean, we did a hell of a lot of reference checks on numerous different kind of tough guys, and for want of a better term. And Eric was the one that continually came back as being the guy. Huge personality, unbelievable with the fans, unbelievable in the community. One of these guys is very, very proactive. And for a new club such as ourselves, 13, 14 months in existence, in essence, that's hugely important to have that kind of character guy. He's hugely respected within the locker room. He's hugely respected within the game. Pash spoke to numerous kind of NHL coaches, American League coaches, East Coast coaches. I mean, there was literally not one negative that came back about him. And, we've already seen it here. I've seen it firsthand, just the way in which he interacts and what have you. So from our side of things, it is about you kind of creating that brand or that culture, that environment, but off the ice. But it's just as important on the ice. He provides so much security, I suppose, for want of a better term, which is, I suppose, the primary role of the enforcer. He's there to make sure things don't happen to your smaller or your more skilled guys and what have you. And Eric holds people to account. He's one of those guys. He's the nicest guy in the world off the ice. He can be a mean sod on the ice. And, listen, I saw it firsthand in Belfast back in the day whenever Belfast first set up in the year 2000. A name synonymous around the Elite League, or as it was in the Super League, in Paxton Schulte. And I saw the effect firsthand that having a franchise guy such as Paxton helped create the culture and the environment. And still to this day, if you walk around Belfast, maybe people hadn't been to watch the Giants in 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, whatever. The one name that still crops up, they'll turn around and say, is Paxton Schulte still in Belfast? Does he still play for the Giants? And, that's our hope and aspiration, that we kind of create that culture and identity through having the likes of a big, large personality such as Eric. But also, I mean, just as much what he does off the ice as well, and hopefully drive bums on seats.
So David Sims isn't a better skater than him then, in your opinion?
Mr. Sims, I did see that part of his Periscope. I'm still waiting for him to reply. By the way, he did predict that Cardiff would hump us on Saturday night in Altrincham.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I did remind him of that on the phone earlier on this afternoon. But listen, Eric, is he going to light the lamp up 20 times this season? No, I don't think he is. But I tell you what, he'll finish his checks. He'll be aggressive. He'll drive the net hard. But is he going to dangle past 2 or 3 defensemen and forehand, backhand, top shelf. No. But you know what? He scored in pre-season against the Sheffield Steelers, which got the place absolutely rocking. But listen, as I say, he's here for a role both on and off the ice. And as I say, from what I've seen so far, I've been massively impressed with Eric.
Let me ask you about the expectation factor. Obviously, Clan still being relatively new. I can still remember back to what it was like going into the second season. Mm-hmm. You punched above your weight in your first season. Overall, you had a successful season by anybody's standards. I think I'm sure your own as well. Mm. Do you think there's much of a difference in the expectation for the fans, for the team, for yourself going into season 2?
Yes and no. I mean, I put myself and put Pash and all the players very much, not under pressure is the wrong word, but, it's important that we continue to progress. I mean, last year was a cluster in so many ways with having to do what we did, and kind of looking back on it, it was just like, how did we actually manage to do this? Because, I mean, putting a hockey team, a hockey club together in essence inside 6 weeks is not advisable for anybody's health, let me tell you, because the ramifications of it continue on throughout the course of the season. But, we were massively, looking back on last season, we were very proud of all that we kind of did achieve, both, up in the stands, our presence off the ice, and what we kind of managed to capture the imagination of people around the Elite League, through our play. And, moving into this season, our expectation, I mean, we qualified for the quarterfinal of the Challenge Cup last year. I want that to be achieved again. And obviously, the end of season playoffs. And listen, I like us a lot. This season, I have to say, certainly I know damn right I've been around hockey and been around sport long enough to know that every team will go through their skids, and no doubt, I'm sure at some stage that we will. But the one thing that I ask of Pash and all the guys is that you get 100% effort every single night. And if guys come to the rink, and that's all the fans, all the fans that come in and pay their hard-earned money, all that they ask is that their team show pride in the logo on the front of the jersey and come to work every single day. And I'm very content, as I say, at this stage, certainly with the core group that we have. So who knows, Graham? People talk to me about Leicester City and what they achieved last year. You just never know. It could be the year of the underdog. So who knows? But we'll certainly shoot for the stars and see where it takes us.
Jen?
Neil, one of the big changes we're going to see this year is the 3-on-3 overtime. We kind of had our first taste of it last weekend. What do you think of the change to 3-on-3 overtime?
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Should have done it last year, to be brutally honest with you. We had it here in that exhibition game against the Coventry Blaze, and it was fantastic. It was end to end. Fans are on the edge of their seats or up out of their seats, and it's fantastic. And there's so many opportunities and what have you. So, Jennifer, I think it's absolutely brilliant. And as I say, I think we should have probably brought it in last year as well, to be honest.
Yeah. And with the goal line technology, are you guys kind of good to go with that?
Goal line technology. Don't get me started in goal line technology. Yes, we are. We had ours installed. We had ours installed 6-7 months ago. So still waiting on some pieces of equipment and some further instruction from the company that set it up for people around the league. I know it has been an issue for a few of the arena teams, which has been obviously a bit disappointing. Certainly not the club's fault in any way, but it has been semi-problematic, and I know that some of the arena teams are endeavouring to get a resolution to that as soon as possible. But I think again that once all the 10 teams have that installed and fully operational, I think that'll be an excellent addition as well, because we have seen certainly the last few years, certain contentious goals and what have you, and I think with this goal line technology that'll obviously help clear that up.
Sorry to put you on the spot, Neil, but I need to talk to you about the referees. We're stuck with the 3-man system. I think most people agree that even with goal line technology, we'd still obviously ideally want a 4-man system. We know the situation in terms of costs and the fact that one or two or more teams were not in favour of it, which is why we're stuck with the 3-man system. What's your, without trying to put you too much on the spot, what's your own take on it?
I am personally all in favour of the 4-man system. I think whenever it was in, Graham, It worked really well. I think those extra pair of eyes out